Okay, it's TLB time and it's our first speed draft and it's me, Kim, here. Um, okay, Haunted Dead is a good card. Shreds of Sanity is good if you're spell heavy. The Tangled Claw Werewolf is a card that both me and Jimmy like a lot. It can win games by itself when it's flipped, and it's not bad when it's not flipped either. So there's also Guardian Priest, which could be the case, but I've not had that much luck with white so far. And maybe we could be in werewolves or something. Okay, Savage Alliance is one of the best uncommons in the set and one of my favorite cards. There's a lot of good red here, which is a bit sad. Our opponent passing a white rare, but I don't think that it's super, but it's good. But I'm taking Alliance, maybe we can be red-green, or maybe we can still be some sort of spell deck, who knows. Okay, getting past another white rare. Maybe I just... I think that card is pretty good. You often find a target for it in this format. And getting counters on a wide board, obviously, is strong. There's Grapple with the Past, Primal Druid, Blessed Alliance, Thraben Foul. So a lot of decent cards, but two white rares, maybe that's a signal that white could be open. Okay, Hamlet Captain could be good, even though white green humans is not as good anymore. But there's also a Galvanic Bombardment, and then I have two real good red instant spells, which I do like. I still think red is the most powerful color, and it goes in a lot of good decks. Here, okay, we're getting mixed signals. First white cards and then no white card. And now pretty late drag under, I think. Also a certain death, but we haven't seen much black so far. But drag under is really good, and we could still be some sort of red blue deck, I guess. Now there's a Liliana's Elite, which is good in the Delirium deck or in the Zombie deck. Permeating Mass, I don't really think is good. Not much else in the pack. I guess if we stay in white, if it still looks open, I guess it's hard to get signals in the first two packs you get past, but we got the effort passed to us, so maybe I should just take... I guess the Spontaneous Mutation is also good, even though it's not an instant or sorcery, so I think that card is better when you have self-mill or that kind of stuff going on. So the Qatar pick is not... I'm not super sure on that. Okay, the packs looked pretty strong in the beginning, but they have gone down. So it's between two decent 4-drops that goes in different decks, and since I do want to try blue-red more, I'm taking the Brute. And then we get a very late green card. So a captive this late for me is at least a valid data point. I guess there could have been other good green cards in this pack, but we're getting real mixed signals here, I think. Wheeling Shreds of Sanity again might be a signal. The Innkeeper I do think is fine, even if we end up red, white or red, blue. It's a decent card, and red, blue can be... it doesn't have to be all in on spells. It can be a bit more creatures and actually play a tempo game with evasive creatures and spells. So, and in that type of deck, the Innkeeper is fine. Locking down a land on the play is very annoying, and if an opponent is stuck on lands or color screwed, the Innkeeper can basically be a time walk. But the first pack has been very weird. We have some good red cards, but then we got some early white cards, and we saw some late blue cards, and one late green. I guess we only saw one late green card. So maybe green, the signal that green could have been open might actually have been the weakest signal. Okay, Nebelgast Herald is actually very good in the tempo version of blue-red. There's also a Take Inventory, Ingenious Scab, Curious Homunculus, and Thermo Alchemist. But we don't really know that we're in that deck, and if we for some reason end up in blue-green here instead, then the Herald seems like a better tempo play. The other cards we could get if the archetype is open, I guess. I do like Skaben, Alchemist, and Homunculus in the spell-heavy deck where you want to trigger prowess and get the Alchemist to untap. But I guess I could take the Herald here because we still don't know that we're ending up in red. We did not see much red after. Okay, but now we have another Herald, but Collective Defiance is super. I love the good Escalate cards. And it's a sorcery, and we have some good instants, so then we could potentially play the Shreds of Sanity in the sideboard. I also like... Okay, there are Tattered Haunter, Unsubstantiate. Fury Blade Vampire is good in the tempo version. It's evasive, it's an early drop, and it hits very hard, and you can tap stuff down, you can bounce them, you can remove them with burn spells, and just hit for 4 each turn. So, again, the cards have somewhat clustered up in the same pack, because there are like 5 cards I could take if I'm blue-red, which it seems like I might be. The green signal, the captive was late, but other than that, I don't really see us moving into green. And white actually dried up a lot after the 2 early rares we saw. The range whelp is also good in the... Okay, so maybe we might end up in the blue-red tempo version, and then I like cards like Tattered Haunter a lot. The 2 drops should have evasion of some kind. The 3 drops also, and then you just try to get good burn spells and good tricks and take the games pretty quickly. And yeah, another Haunter. We're not enlightened. We're not the Maniac deck, and I hope that we might wield take inventories. We'll see. Spreading Flames is a bit expensive in the tempo deck, but I still think it's a way for us to get back if we don't win by temping our opponent out. And we could potentially play another Innkeeper, or we'll see. Now we're taking the inventories. Yeah, so the first pack started off a bit weird, I think, but it seems like red has been fairly open, and that some of the blue cards are actually coming around is a good signal, even though we don't really have any payoff for having spells. We just have flyers and menace creatures and trample creatures, some tappers that holds down lands, and then just... The red spells have high power level. Savage Alliance, very good. Shreds of Sanity draws us 2 spells back. Collective Defiance can win you the game the turn you play it, as can Savage Alliance. Spreading Flames can get a 3 for 1 pretty consistently. Okay, Terrarion might end up if we get the Delirium draw spell, I guess. Oh, we're probably not going to get that because that is in Eldritch Moon, I guess. And let's see if the Shadows pack rarely gives me much, but we'll see. I guess the Youth has a nice combo with Fury Blade Vampire, so I think that was the best card. I would have loved to see fiery temper and cards like that, and this is another miss. I'm actually probably not playing anything from this pack, which is unfortunate. Pieces of the Puzzle, not good enough. Could take just a card that put it in the sideboard. Yeah, nothing here actually fits our deck, so I'm just taking something. Yeah. Again, the Shadows pack not being awesome. And I guess Uncaged Fury has some synergy with our aggressive creatures if we want to close out the game. But I mean, the first 3 we have yet to find a good playable in the pack we opened and the 2 packs we're getting passed to us. that's where you should pick up playables in the last pack, and then it might dry out, but this has just been the opposite. We haven't found anything. Rise from the Tides is better in the deck where you play like 6 creatures and the rest instants and sorceries, and you have stuff like Pyrehound and the new flyer that really just grows out by playing them. This deck is more a tempo version with no synergy, so Rise is looking pretty bad. Lightning Axe was actually the first real good pickup. I guess we got it 5th pick, so maybe we were just unlucky that the other packs didn't contain anything for us. Duelist is actually looking pretty good here. Yeah, it goes well with our 2 and 3 drops. And again, basically nothing, but we could just play the dual shot because it actually usually finds at least one target. But the Shadow pack, we have found Lightning Axe, that was very good, but we only have one Madness creature or card basically to go with it, so the axe isn't actually super in our deck, but I'm obviously playing it. Arsonist is just a shrug-worthy card. Don't like Senseless Rage that much. I guess it's okay, but I'm not in love with auras in this deck. So maybe just take the Embry Wolf because we might play another tempo-based 2-drop. Probably not, but... Okay, so still only one good playable from the whole Shadow pack. And that was Lightning Axe. So we really need to base this deck on the few powerful cards we got from the beginning. I guess we got a Rise from the Tides also, but this is not the perfect deck for it. We could play a Brute just to be able to self-mill more towards the Rise from the Tides. And play one of that guy and one of the Innkeeper. The Brute also works decent with Shreds of Sanity. So yeah, we do not have the synergy, spell matter, prowess, homunculus, all the cards that really care when you cast instant and sorceries. We have none of those. We have a small combo with Furyblade, Vampire, and Youths, but otherwise we just have evasive, cheap creatures, and the power level of this deck is lying in the red instants, I think. Savage Alliance, Collective Defiance, Spreading Flames, Lightning Axe. Those are the best cards. Then we have some card drawing, take inventory. Borrowed Hostility doesn't really look good here. If we had cards like Pyrehound, the new 1/3 flyer that grows, I guess some Ingenious Scabs that has prowess, then I could see playing it because we're actually triggering something. Also Thermo Alchemist and Weaver of Lightning. Because the other version of this deck has the Thermo Alchemists, Weaver of Lightnings, Pyrehounds, all the cards that really cares about instants and sorceries. We have none of those. So I have to go for putting out like 2 of my early evasive creatures and then just remove and tap anything that stands in our way, and then try to win with like a Duelist, a Youth, the Collective Defiance, shooting 4 in a creature and 3 in the opponent, and then maybe attacking for the win. That type of strategy. So I guess I don't think this is the best version of blue-red you can draft in the format, but it is a version, and obviously I would like to exchange 3 or 4 of these cards for a bit more synergistic type of cards, but I've always liked playing tempo decks, and I've always been pretty successful doing it, and in different formats, blue-red with haste and good spells has worked out for me, so I guess I'll try it out. See you for a match.